I remember sitting alone in my car after another rejection, watching people leave the office building where I'd just been told no for the third time that month. There was something my grandfather used to tell me that suddenly made perfect sense. The wolf on the hill is never as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. At that moment, I realized I was exactly where I needed to be. Not at the top looking down, but halfway up, still climbing, still hungry. You know, there's something nobody tells you about choosing the harder path in life. It gets quiet, really quiet, when you decide to pursue something meaningful rather than something easy. When you choose growth over comfort, you'll find yourself walking alone more often than you'd like. I spent 2 years building my first business while my friends were climbing corporate ladders and buying houses. They thought I was crazy, working 16-hour days for what seemed like nothing. But here's what I discovered during those long, solitary months. The hardest walk you can make is the walk you make alone, but that's also the walk that builds your character the most. There were nights when I questioned everything, when the silence felt deafening and doubt crept in like fog rolling over the hills. But in that silence, I found something unexpected, my authentic voice. When you're alone with your thoughts, with your dreams, with your fears, you can't hide from who you really are anymore. Here's what I learned about that hunger my grandfather talked about. The wolf on top of the hill has already eaten. He's satisfied, comfortable, maybe even a little lazy. But the wolf climbing? That wolf wakes up every morning with purpose. That wolf sees the summit not as a final destination, but as the next feeding ground for growth. I remember my mentor Sarah telling me about her early days as an entrepreneur. She said, "The moment you think you've made it, you stop climbing. The moment you stop climbing, you start sliding backward." She was right. The most successful people I know, and I mean truly successful, not just wealthy, they never lose that climbing mentality. They understand that every skill mastered opens the door to 10 more skills to learn. Every goal achieved reveals 5 bigger dreams worth pursuing. They stay hungry not because they lack contentment, but because they've learned that growth itself is the source of deep satisfaction. But here's the beautiful paradox I discovered. When you're brave enough to walk your authentic path, even when it means walking alone for a while, you eventually attract people who resonate with your journey. Not followers, but fellow travelers. Not people who want to change you, but people who appreciate exactly what you're becoming. I think about my friend Michael, who spent 3 years learning to paint while working a job he hated. His family didn't understand. His co-workers made jokes, but he kept showing up to that easel every evening after work. One day, at a local coffee shop, he struck up a conversation with another artist who had been watching him paint. That conversation led to a friendship, which led to a partnership, which eventually led to the gallery they run together today. You see, when you stay true to yourself, when you keep climbing even when the path gets steep and lonely, you develop qualities that only certain people can appreciate. You develop strength that only those who've climbed their own mountains can truly understand. You become magnetic to others who value authenticity over approval, growth over comfort, purpose over popularity. The truth is, it's much better to walk alone in the right direction than to follow the herd walking in the wrong direction. When you're different, when you're willing to be misunderstood for a while, you're not just building a life, you're building character. You're not just achieving goals, you're becoming someone worth becoming. I want you to imagine something with me. Picture yourself not at the top of your mountain, but halfway up, breathing hard, muscles burning, but eyes bright with determination. From this vantage point, you can see how far you've come, but you can also see how much higher you can go. That feeling in your chest, that mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration, that's what being fully alive feels like. The truth is, the toughest climbs always lead to the best views, but more importantly, they lead to the best version of yourself. Every step you take on that steep, lonely path is carving you into someone stronger, wiser, more resilient than you were yesterday. The hardest walks lead to the greatest destinations. Don't give in. Don't settle. Don't lower your expectations to fit into a world that doesn't understand your vision. You were born to stand out. You were born to lead, not follow. Your destiny isn't waiting for you at the summit. It's being written with every step you take climbing toward it. Always be that wolf climbing the hill, always hungry for more, always hungry to grow, to feed your mind and rise to the highest level you can take yourself. Never looking back, always looking forward to the next feast, the feast of success in whatever you do. So I want to ask you, what hill are you climbing right now? What path are you walking that feels lonely but feels right? Take a moment today to honor that journey. Sit with the silence. Feel the hunger. Trust the process. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's climbing their own hill. And remember, the wolf climbing the hill might walk alone, but he's never truly lonely. He's in the company of everyone who's ever chosen the harder path towards something beautiful.